Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Moon Knight. We're up to episode 3. It's called The Friendly Type. I am watching it the next day. Episode 2 ended with, our hero, or heroes, if you want to refer to them that way, asking the God, where are we going? And the God saying, where else? And then they're in Egypt. So I'm hopeful that it'll really kind of take off from this point, since they're at the source of these competing gods and the mythology and all that stuff. So I don't know. As you may know, if you watched my reactions, I wasn't a fan of the first episode. I think it was just a little too slow and too repetitive. It kept making the points over, and the point that he, for instance, was blacking out over and over and over again. They only had to do that once, maybe twice, but they did it multiple times. The concept of the split personality or the multiple personality kind of thing, they kept driving home over and over and over again. They tried to make it like kind of a mystery that you would get into, but, I watched the trailer, so it wasn't really a mystery. And so it ended up being kind of annoying. I wasn't a fan of the first episode. I thought it was kind of slow, and they could have gotten to the point faster. But the second episode was better. By the end of the first episode, they got me intrigued to watch the second one, and the second one was better. I wouldn't say it was great. It was still kind of sluggish, but it was getting there. So here, I'm very hopeful for the third one, and we'll see what happens in it. So give it a watch. Kanju, that's right. That's the god's name.
Wish you could live.
Yeah, the whole concept of the justice coming too late. I mean, it'd be nice if you can catch people in the act as opposed to the preemptive stuff, because the god that he's currently the avatar for or whatever, it's wrong. It's a moral dilemma and everything. It's just wrong. You can't, even if say the god can really see the future, but still, is it right to kill somebody before they've even done anything, or maybe even thought about doing anything bad? I don't think so. But ideally, you want to catch them right as they're about to do it, or right as they're starting to do it. Before they do any real damage. That would be ideal. But if you can't do that, then do it after the fact. Like I said, our heroes, the god that our hero is the avatar for, is kind of more like an avenger. He's stopping something after it's happened, or as it's going on, or maybe he's a Batman kind of thing. But as a lot of people draw the parallel between Moon Knight and Batman. So anyway, on with the show. Oh, so they are. Oh, nice. Are those Turkish delights? They're taking the actor's ethnicity and the actor's background, and going to Egypt. She's Egyptian. I think when I read her background, I don't know if she was born in Egypt, but she's of Egyptian heritage.
Have a good trip, love.
The kiss would imply, is this a relative of hers? They talk about her father, but not her mother. Is that her mother? Or is it just the love as an English expression, which isn't really... if you're an American and you say love, he probably is somebody you're either related to or intimately in a relationship with. But I think it's kind of a common expression in Britain, right? Kind of, hey, love, when you're not really in love with them. Okay, the first episode had old-timey music, jazz or something. Can't remember now, playing over the Marvel logo. The second one had the actual Marvel theme. This one has Middle Eastern music, so maybe the odd-numbered episodes I'm not going to like? I don't know. So they're trying to find Amit's tomb, right? That's why they're here. There a little bit of hesitation there. He was going to punch that person right there, but decided to slap him instead. Is he going to regret that? Guess the reason they're not summoning the suit here is to prove to us that he's quite capable, even without the suit, to fight normal people. Oh no. Okay, wait a minute. Are we getting Mark blackouts now? Right now we're seeing when Steven takes over, and Steven, how did he not die if he took over? Because he can't fight. Yeah, what the hell? So Steven took over, Mark blacked out. How did Steven survive that?
I swear it wasn't me.
Then who was it?
Oh, there's a third one. That's what did it. There's a third personality. That's why he pulled his punch on this one. It's a kid. I couldn't really judge the age there. It looked like 18-ish, but, I mean, kid, I guess, relative, right? He didn't talk. Okay, so they're going to try to get the attention of other gods, other Egyptian gods, I take it. Not other pantheons. We know about the Norse gods with Thor and all that stuff, but some Egyptian ones, huh?
Light of gods!
The others, yeah, like she said, try not to fight it. The others are just accepting the god speaking to them, but he's like freaking out every time it happens.
From the in this chamber.
So why don't these gods just go look at the dig site? I don't understand why they can't send their avatars out there to see it. It's very convenient that they can't do that. Yeah, it's just, I mean, they this scene, I kind of don't like it because it was intended to show us, oh, the gods have avatars and give us a little bit of background about why they're not interfering. But they took the charge seriously enough to bring him in to question him. The bad guy. Yet they didn't want to take one simple act to see if what was being said was truthful. All they did was interview a couple people, and then they're like, oh, no, we're going away. So I don't like this scene because I think it's a waste. It was done to kind of do like what we did with with the Eternals to kind of say why they weren't getting involved in this. But they weren't getting involved in this because, not because they don't think it's something that they should get involved with. If they believed he was trying to resurrect Ammit, they would get involved, clearly, or else they wouldn't have brought him in for questioning. But they didn't care enough to go actually get the truth. They just asked him. And then he turned the accusation over to Mark, and then they just said, there's nothing here. It's stupid. Come on. It just doesn't make any logical sense. I don't like the writing. Let's put it that way. Okay, so let me get this right. The bad guy is digging at the site. He knows where the grave is. He's digging there. He's got a whole bunch of people there. So Mark, instead of trying to do a little bit more work to figure out where that dig site is, which is in the country he's in, instead he's going to now go on a hunt for a stolen sarcophagus and trace clues like a national treasure hunt. Come on. This is not very... I'll bite my tongue. It's just not making a lot of logical sense.
It's not pleasant being left in the dark.
It's slowing down again. Come on. You had like, 6, 8 episodes, whatever it is. Come on. Move. More characters. More slowdown. You know what's so sad? There's this Moon Knight fight going on right now, but I have this feeling it's as if he's a supporting character. She's the lead character at the moment in the scene, and he's like a supporting character. Are you going to get the third personality? No, it's him. It's Steven. So I'm still going to argue that this is really pointless. They spent all this time searching for these clues, and all they have to do is do some real-world kind of non-supernatural investigation and figure out where this digging party is happening. I mean, the bad guy came from the digging party, and they went back to the digging party, and yet they're still focused on these clues to try to figure out where he's digging. It just doesn't make any sense. Someone explain it to me. Explain to me why they had to do this instead of continuing what he did before, where he found the bad guys who might have known the answer and tried to beat it out of them. He could do some real investigation and try to figure out where they're digging. It's not going to be that hard. They have equipment. They have animals, pack animals. They have a lot of people. Somebody's going to notice them. Why was this important? I mean, somebody's going to say it's important because it gives us more character time with her and more revelation of what she's capable of. It introduces another character that Mark just killed. So what was the point of even having that character? It doesn't seem it's fair. I even had to take the time to look up the writers of this and figure out if they worked on the Netflix Marvel shows, because this is so much like the Netflix Marvel shows. It's so slow and doesn't get to the point. Very frustrating. I mean, the fights are great, but they're so infrequent and they don't really contribute to the story. That was a fight just to keep everybody busy while she tried to get the fabric, the cloth. And that was it. And it was kind of pointless in the end.
Talking about?
Mess with you, he's trying to get in your mind.
Yeah, it was the comment about if she finds out the truth, that she'll see you the way you see yourself. Did he actually kill her father? Is that what we're going to find out? I mean, that would be an interesting character development, but not really worth all that time we've been spending away from the actual story. I always like making minor nitpicks about real world things, but they don't have an engine running, so there's no alternator charging their battery, so their battery's going to be dead pretty soon with all those lights on, and they're going to be stuck there.
He's going to take Senfu marked that tomb.
Yeah, 2,000 years ago, of course. The constellations have changed a bit.
Years ago.
Mark!
Will Steven tell Mark to free him now that they've imprisoned him, though? Is this the end of the episode? Oh. If Mark has lost his Moon Knight powers, how's he going to free him? And so they leave this guy, who clearly is evil, alone with Khonshu, and they're not even going to bother listening to what he says, because he's going to admit his evil plans. Yeah, and they aren't listening to him. No. Don't bother listening to what he's saying about his evil plans. Okay. I don't think there's any post-credit scenes. I would be surprised. That's not all credits. No. This is so reminiscent of the Netflix Marvel series, in that you get little tastes of things that are like, oh, that's the story. Oh no, we're just going back to really slow character development for a very long, protracted period of time. Oh no, there's a little taste of the story. Oh, it's fleeting. It's gone. And just like the Netflix Marvel series, I'm sure around, I don't remember how many episodes there are, but when there's like 2 episodes left, all of a sudden it'll get really good. Really, really good in the last couple episodes, and everybody will say, oh, that was a great series. And they'll forget all the really slow, boring stuff in the middle. So far, I think episode 2 was a little bit better than episode 3. I'd say episode 1 was the worst. Episode 3 was the next worst, and episode 2 was a little bit better, but that's not saying much. At the moment, I would have to rank this at the bottom of all of the Feige Marvel TV shows. It's really at the bottom. I mean, I'm watching it because I love Marvel. As I started at episode 1, I said Kevin Feige hasn't disappointed me, and he probably won't. I'll probably enjoy how this ends, just like I said. In the last couple of episodes, I'll probably say this was great. It was really full of action. It really told a story really well. It was a very good comic book show. But right now, man, it's just, it's really painful to watch, especially when they make dumb writing decisions. Like this whole thing where they went off on this side expedition to try to figure out the location. And by the way, them trying to figure out the location of the tomb, which they could already figure out using earthly means by just figuring out where all those people and those resources and all those pack animals went. Surely they don't have any connections to people with satellites who could have found them in the desert. I don't know. But anyway, that whole side arc took up almost this entire episode, and it led to Khonshu being imprisoned. But if they had gone the route that would made the most logical sense of using real-world methods to find these people in the desert who had already located the goddess's burial location, all of that could have been avoided. But people will say, well, then that wouldn't have all happened. Well, yeah, but that's all manufactured. That's all forced. I understand that all writing is manufactured. I get that. What I'm trying to say is when you make dumb writing moves that are illogical, and then that leads to a whole bunch of other things that are happening, those other things aren't brilliant. And those other things aren't things that are awesome in the story because they were based on a flawed, stupid decision that I don't get. I am not a Marvel naysayer. If you watch my channel, You know, I love Marvel. If you listen to our podcast, you know I am the one who's like rating all the Marvel stuff super high, and all my co-hosts are saying, well, it's okay. But this one, man, I mean, you got to take that into consideration, that if I am this negative on this show, then there's something here. And maybe it's just something I see. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of other reactions. I watched a couple, and the other reactors seem to really love it. They think it's great. Wonderful. Nobody seems to see the things that I'm seeing of the reactors I'm watching, and I haven't watched that many, like I said. They aren't seeing the same things about how writing decisions are being made that are illogical to make things more complex and more dire and create other plot elements that then have to be resolved because they made a dumb logical decision in the writing. I don't know, man. I really, 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 really want to enjoy this because I have always loved, both with the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus, could not wait till Wednesday midnight Pacific time, where I would just jump on and watch it, and I'd be super excited. But I am not excited about watching the show. After the first 2 episodes, I wasn't excited. And after this one, I'm still not excited. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping on Wednesday at midnight. I'm looking up at the clock above your camera there. Wednesday at midnight to watch the next episode. It might take me several days to watch it because I'm just not enjoying it. The fights are cool. Great. But I'm so frustrated at the way it's being written. And it's kind of a coincidence that I actually paused on the written by page here, or written by screen. And these guys are all, I'm sure, wonderful, wonderful writers. And I did look at their credits to see what else they worked on, and some of them worked on some stuff that I love. One of them had worked on WandaVision, and I love WandaVision. Another one worked on Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love, that was a great episode. That series was good. I love the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, but it was at the bottom of my ranking of the Marvel Disneys, which didn't mean it was bad. It just means something had to be at the bottom. But it's miles above this one so far. I keep saying so far, and I keep hesitating ripping into it, but I think it's worth ripping into it right now because dumb things are being done, and it's not being done well. And the reason I hesitate is because we still have multiple episodes to go, and I'm sure I am 100% confident that I will enjoy this series when it comes to an end. 100% confident that I will say that was fun. But that doesn't mean I can't look back at these episodes and say the way we got there, the route we took to get there was mind-numbingly dumb and slow. Very much like the Marvel Netflix stuff, right? I loved all of those shows. Yeah, all of those shows. I was thinking there might have been one that people would be surprised I loved, but loved them all. But it took a while to get there, and they went down these very slow, drawn out, boring paths as well. But I love the shows as a whole, and when I go back to watch those shows, I tend to like fast forward a bunch of stuff and get to the good parts, And I might do that with Moon Knight in the future. I don't know, but we'll see how it turns out. But next episode's coming out on Wednesday, just after midnight. I don't know if I will be there recording it at that time. I might be, bright-eyed and hopeful. But something tells me I'll probably have a bitter taste in my mouth still and be putting it off for a couple of days. And I know that means almost nobody's going to see these reactions. I get that. The only time anybody ever sees my reactions, my channel is so small that the only time anybody ever sees them is if I release them like 2 hours after or an hour and a half after the show premieres. Right away, then I get some people who look at them because they're looking for people who are reacting to the show they just watched. I get that. So I'm going to miss out on all kinds of views. I don't care. It's not why I do my channel anyway. As you can tell, I'd be promoting the heck out of it, and I'd be releasing stuff constantly if I wanted to grow my channel. But I understand that it probably turned off a bunch of people who are excited for this and who are loving what's happening here. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can bear with me and watch as I experience this. I'm trying to be honest, and I hope that you understand that I am being very honest in how I'm reacting to this. So I'm hoping that you'll stick along for the ride and see how it turns out. Because I bet you I'm going to love it at the end. It's just going to be a hard ride to get there. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments how much of an idiot I am, how much you hate me, how much I'm a Marvel hater, which doesn't make any sense. Or if you agree with me, or if you support my, even if you don't agree with what I'm saying here or what I'm saying, if you support my my right to say it that way, and what I hope that you perceive as my sincerity. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.